It's time to call CarShield now. Call 800-470-5679.
My name is Mickey Fox. I'm Sheriff of Edgewater. I challenge you to imagine what this town can be. Sheriff's Office!
You are Edgewater's finest.
Oh, I don't give up easy.
Additional sponsorship provided by
Total Beets, America's best-selling Beets brand, is available at Walmart. Total Beets blood pressure support contains ingredients shown to deliver 2 times better blood pressure support. Get Total Beets today.
You paid $1 million for Liam's surgery?
I would have paid $100 million. Liam's cured.
Did you make the payment to a medical center?
Honestly, I'm not even sure. I forwarded the information to an assistant.
Did the account have someone's name on it?
As I just said, I really wasn't paying that close of attention to it. Listen, under normal circumstances, I would be all over it. But time was of the essence. I forwarded the... Look, you know what? All I cared about was saving my son's life. If the treatment could do that, why would I care who or where the money was going? Grace was upfront about the cost. There were no surprises.
It's kind of ironic, after everything that's happened with the Buckingham family, that Grace was the one who saved me.
You mean after what her husband Reese did to you and Hope?
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, he stole our baby girl, right? Let us think that she was dead. I mean, what that did to Hope is just the grief, the pain. It was unbearable. That man, like, he's not even human to me. He's just monster.
No, Steffi and I have talked about him. He's like, and not that it's comparable to anything that Hope went through, but she thought of Beth as her own daughter.
No, it is comparable. I mean, Steffi was a victim too. I mean, she bonded with Beth and then had her taken away.
Well, she loved her, and still does. But the impact of knowing that Hope's baby wasn't dead and seeing Hope's joy, that healed Steffi's heart. And I know she is so grateful to have Beth still in our lives.
I mean, what Reese Buckingham did, obviously, it just makes me sick to my stomach, because what was it for? It was to pay off some stupid gambling debts. But what a twist, right? I mean, Reese tried to steal my daughter away from me, and his ex-wife gave me more time with her.
Thanks to Dr. Buckingham, my son has a beautiful life ahead of him.
For $1 million.
See how everybody, Austin? Oh, are you live? I don't know. I don't know. This is one of the big moves. Uh-oh, he says cut in and out. Oh, that's not good. Uh-oh, that's not good. That's definitely not good. Because this is not the same. This is one of the TVs that was updated. No, this is 4. Because mine's in the shop. Go ahead and do what you got to do because we got like a little under 15 minutes.
And we are now on the air because Richland Sheriff Leon Lott is going to address the assault of a deputy over the weekend. It happened in the Sandhills area near a movie theater. Let's go live now to Sheriff Leon Lott.
Particularly a lot of shootings. I'm not going to talk about a shooting that happened this weekend, but I'm going to talk about a lot of out of control young people. A lot of this responsibility and fault for what we got going on falls back to parents not being parents and just allowing our teenagers to do whatever the heck they want to do. We had a few incidents this weekend, various places where teenagers were gathering and causing issues, but the one I'm going to talk about happened at the village of Sandhill. The village of Sandhill has had some challenges recently with young people using that as a place to go and cause problems. The movie theater has been kind of the magnet that's drawn most of the problems that we've had at the village of Sandhill. We've met with the various owners of the village of Sandhill. We've come up with safety plans that most of the owners have agreed to. I will say that the theater has not been part of these discussions. They just didn't show up. I consider them part of the problem and not part of the solution. That the other owners and businesses there have worked with us very closely. They have hired deputies, extra deputies to work there. They've put, I guess, an escort policy in place. They've blocked some roads and some dark areas. They've done better surveillance. They've done quite a few things that we've asked them to do. But the theater is an independent from the rest of the mall. And I will say over the years, the theater has not cooperated with us, and which has resulted in a lot of problems out there. Parents or adults dropping kids off and saying, we'll pick you up hours later. 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds just out there with no parent supervision, and which just caused a lot of problems. About 9 o'clock this past Saturday night, we had somebody call 911 dispatch and say there was a large group of teenagers. They were fighting, thought there was a gun involved in it. We had some deputies that were already on the scene. They were able to get there very quickly. And what you will see is very disturbing and makes me angry. We talk about these teenagers hurting each other, but when they hurt one of my deputies, that takes it to a different level. That shows a total lack of respect for authority whatsoever. And again, respect for authority, respect for adults, respect starts at the home. And when it's not taught at home, then you're going to see what you saw, what you're about to see in just a minute ago. It's awful. It makes me very angry, and we're not going to stand for it on what we see, what's going on, and those responsible is going to pay for it. So we'll play the video. Watch my deputy. That is not going to the movies. That's not going shopping. That's not hanging out with your friends and having a casual conversation. You see exactly what that is. That was a huge fight. And you saw our deputy respond to it. You saw her try to break it up, and you saw what happened to her, how she got picked up and body slammed. She suffered a concussion. She suffered injuries to her hips. She got injured. But I'm going to play the video again, but I want you to see something else. She didn't lay there. She didn't lay on the ground and cry and complain and give up. You will see that she got up and she engaged again with what was going on. That is what a deputy does. She was not scared. She showed courage, and she showed that she was going to perform her duties, even though that she was injured. You will see that she continued to get up and continued to try to break up that fight. The 16-year-old that body slammed her, took off and run. She helped apprehend him. He was charged with assault and battery second degree, breach of peace of high and aggravated nature. But you see there's numerous young people that were fighting. I don't know their ages, so I don't know if they're a juvenile or what they are. And we're going to show their video, and I hope their parents see this video, and I hope their parents give us a call. Because if they don't, we're going to find them. Somebody's going to tell on them. You know, as a parent, you used to be appalled at what you see right here. So I'm going to play the video one more time for you. That is not going to be tolerated. We are not going to tolerate that. I am not going to have young people do my deputies like that, or do each other like that, or do innocent people like that. This is what is happening in too many places. And the village of Sand Hill just happened to be where it happened this past weekend. 16-year-old, you see what his charges are. This is the deputy. You put a picture up? Okay. Deputy will leave her. Sustained injuries to her head, arm, and her hip. Again, when parents watch this, that's your kids, you need to give us a call. You need to put them in the car, and you need to drive them down here and have a conversation with us. Questions?
Any way of knowing how many times you've responded out there for incidents specifically to the movie theater this year?
44 times this year we've responded out there. Assault with weapons, disturbances with weapons, domestics with weapons, fight in progress, fights with weapons, people with guns, shots fired, parents drop their juvenile children off, Sand Hills on the weekends and leave them there. No supervision whatsoever. That's the issue that we're seeing. But again, I'm not blaming this on the village of Sand Hill because they're doing everything we're asking them to do. The theaters are not, but the rest of the mall is doing what we're asking them to do. This is on parents. This is who this is. Those kids had absolutely no business running around like that Saturday night. None whatsoever.
At what time did that take place?
9 o'clock.
I know places like Myrtle Beach have curfews and things of that nature. I know Blackwood as well trying to establish that. Is that a consideration here?
It is a consideration at the village of Sand Hill because they have an escort policy that they've enacted. It's private property. The village of Sand Hill is private property, so they can do that. No different than State Fairgrounds does it when the fair is here. So they have a curfew or escort policy that they have in place. However, it's only effective in places that cooperate. The movie theater is not one of those. And so while you may not go unescorted to one part of the mall or a good bit of the village of Sand Hill, where the theater is, you can't. And this is where we're having the problems.
With the response from the theater, what has it been like, if there has been any?
How much more money can we make? I mean, we've been dealing with this for years. This is not something new with the theater. We've tried working with them. They're independently owned, and that's part they own that. You know, again, it's just that's been the magnet right there. And you know, if the theater was not there, we'd probably have no problems at the village of Sand Hill. I can't close them down.
That actually was going to be my next question, is say what is in your jurisdiction that you can do?
I can't close them down because that's not inside the theater, that's outside, but we all know what the draw is. Everybody knows, the kids knows, the other merchants there, they all know what the draw is. They said, I'm going to the movies. And that's where they get dropped off, or that's where they show up. And then they try to roam the rest of the village of Sand Hills, and then you see what happens. You have these groups like this that end up fighting, and then we have a problem. And then I have a deputy that's at home now because she's injured.
And what would be the difference between being able to shut down a club or a restaurant as opposed to a movie theater?
Because it's happening within that club. This is not happening inside the movie theater. It's happening outside the movie theater. Go ahead.
Can I ask, I remember in 2023 after a brawl you said that you weren't sending deputies on special duty to the theater.
We stopped. We stopped.
Deputies elsewhere in the
we stopped doing that, and then the village of Sand Hills, they have numerous owners. We're talking about over 25 different owners. Most of them have gotten together and we've met. They said, we need help and what can we do? And we actually met in this room right here for a couple hours and went over things that we suggested, and they took those suggestions. So they're working very closely with us now. So yes, so we do have deputies that are working special duty there. But again, that's not everybody at the village of Sand Hill.
Does the village have private security that enforces the curfew?
They do. They have private security, enforces the curfew, and if someone refuses to leave, at that point becomes trespassing, then it's a criminal offense, and then that's how we get involved in it.
If parents are instilling this I would say, fear of God in their children, right, when it comes to law enforcement and misbehaving and getting with 20 others to do this, like this video shows, do you have any words for, young juveniles in this case? Our 16-year-old has been arrested. Surely this speaks some volume.
Well, I'm going to send a message to the kids and also to the parents. If you're not teaching them at the home, this young man here, 16 years old, he's at DJJ. He's at DJJ. If you don't want your child to go to DJJ and be charged, then you need to start teaching them at home and being a real parent and monitor your kids and know what they're doing. No excuse for that, what you just saw up there. Multiple people fighting, just running around. How would you feel being somewhere and taking your kids there to go get ice cream at the corner, and that's what you're in the middle of? Fortunately, we didn't have, somebody did call and say there was a gun involved. That's why we initially responded, but we didn't have a shooting. That's just, which is a rarity here. It's really rare that somebody didn't pull out a gun and start shooting. Okay, thank y'all.
All right, so there you have Richland Sheriff Leon Lott showing some video and talking about an incident that happened Saturday night around 9 o'clock at the village of Sand Hill, specifically outside the movie theater there. He says that parents there are dropping kids off and leaving them for hours, and he calls the incident that happened over the weekend on the parents that are doing so. He called the video disturbing, the assault on his deputy. He said he is angry. He said it is awful and he will not stand for it. Again, he said this was a huge fight that happened Saturday night, and when his deputy, identified as Deputy Ambria Woollever, tried to intervene, she was body slammed, suffering a concussion and injuries to her hips, her head, and her arm. A 16-year-old young man has been charged in connection with that incident. He's been charged with assault and battery, second degree, currently being held at DJJ. Now, the sheriff went into this saying that his department has responded 44 times this year at the village of Sand Hill for some type of incidents out there. He did not elaborate on what kind of incidents, but 44 times this year his deputies have had to respond to the village at Sand Hill. And he also made a point of saying this isn't on the shops at the village of Sand Hill or on the mall itself. He says that this is all happening outside the movie theater. Everyone, he says, is cooperating when it comes to trying to find a solution here, except for, he says, the movie theater is not cooperating and says he can't shut them down because these incidents, he says, they're happening outside of that movie theater. So again, a deputy hurt Saturday night during an incident. The sheriff, calling it disturbing and awful, says he will not stand for it. We are working to gather even more details on this. We will have an update for you later on Friends at 5 and on News 19 at 6 later tonight. And of course, as always, you can get the very latest on WLTX.com. Have a good day.